And welcome back to another Doctor Who toy review. In today's review, I'm taking a look at the brand new Doctor Who 15th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver Deluxe Edition. That's the online exclusive edition that first went on sale at San Diego Comic-Con earlier in the year. At the time of recording this video, it isn't on Character's website yet, but I believe it is going to be out this month, the month of September. Keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, this is a stunning looking item, and let's just dive in and take a look at the packaging. The Sonic Screwdriver is packaged kind of similar to what we saw with the 14th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. This time it's in a sort of pinky purpley hue, a really lovely colour. I'm guessing that this is going to be the colour for the 15th Doctor's era. As we've seen with the B&M sets, every Doctor has their own colour palette, so I'm assuming that this is going to be for Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. And it's really lovely, really bright and vibrant, it really pops. Otherwise, the style guide is very much the same. We've got the fantastic new diamond logo against that white background, really pops. The little diamond pop-out saying that this is from the 15th Doctor's era. We've got multifunction Sonic Screwdriver, all of the usual bits and pieces. On the side, we've got the long version of the Doctor Who logo. And then on the back, we get to take a look at some of the functionality of the Sonic Screwdriver, as well as how to replace the batteries and all that sort of thing. Underneath the Sonic Screwdriver, there are more detailed instructions of what is what and how it works in relation to the different functions. So in hand, this is stunning. It's a beautiful piece. Now, I've said previously on other videos on this channel that I'm not really a fan of the Sonic Screwdriver in this design. You know, lots of people have said various things about it. It looks like a flip phone. It looks like a shoe sole. To that, I say, yeah, you know, there's kind of no denying it. The shape of it does feel like that. That aside, and I've said this with previous Sonic Screwdrivers over the years, you know, although I may not be a fan of the design within the series as a toy, this is fantastic. It's really, really lovely. The way that they have replicated the on-screen prop is phenomenal. The paint job just pops. I love the blue hue. It's really nice. The blue and the silver really work well together with those gold accents. And the level of detail that's gone into this is just really incredible. Before we even get into all of the functionality, because I think this Sonic Screwdriver probably does more than any other Sonic Screwdriver that's gone before, and part of that is because of the nature of the design. So in the packaging, it's already swiveled open, but you can swivel it into a closed, more easily pocketable version of the Sonic Screwdriver, and every time you swivel it open, it makes a sound effect, and when you close it, it makes a sound effect, which is really cool. I love that. I've got to be honest, I was very nervous about swiveling the underside of this Sonic Screwdriver because it's sort of stiff, and in my head I'm like, oh my god, there's like wires and stuff in there that, you know, can I turn it either way? You can twist it either side to extend the Sonic Screwdriver and retract it. So opening it up, let's get a proper good look at all the details going on here. So like I said, lots of stuff with the paint job. That metallic finish just looks amazing. It looks like it just fell out of the TV series into my hand. Lovely textural stuff going on here. This gold bit with all these little lumps and bumps. All of the other details that we've got here. These clear circles here, these light up. I'll show you that in a moment. Those light up, but you can see that there's depth to it. There's a bit of silver plastic underneath, like a little sort of disc thing. Similarly, you've got this little gold bit here, that's the hinge for the spin feature. And then, of course, you've got all these other little details like the ridges that have been sculpted in. And then you have the long rectangular button, the gold one. That's the button to make the lights and sounds go, which we'll look at in a moment. And then you've got the smaller gold button over here, which is to extend the sonic emitter, which again, we'll look at in a bit. And then over here, you've got that little gold button there. That's not a button, that's again a hinge for the slide out viewer, which, again, we'll look at in a moment. But if we go down to the bottom, again, there's some like clear portions here. When certain light features are being used, when it's closed, that looks as if it's lighting up. The light travels through it, which is really, really clever. We've got the power crystal, which as soon as you open it, it lights up. It's got like a flickering glow effect. It looks really, really cool. And I think this is just the idea that this crystal is what's powering the Sonic Screwdriver. Something that seems to have been carried on from the Jodie era. And then there's a little gold button at the bottom there, but that is purely for decoration. On the other side, again, we've got more of this grip sort of texture here, painted beautifully. We have the Gallifreyan text in the middle, which is based off a Rwandan proverb, which means the sharpness of the tongue defeats the sharpness of the warrior, which is great. I think that's a really nice touch that they managed to incorporate something of Ncuti Gatwa's own Rwandan roots into the prop and put a Doctor Who spin on it. And of course, it feels very doctory. It's, very true to the Doctor's nature. We've got more little clear pieces here. These all light up as well when the light functions are going. And again, more of that gold, more of these sort of circular designs. Again, it feels kind of Gallifreyan. It sort of harks back to the circular text and stuff that we've had going since 2005. And again, you've got some more sort of little bumpy bits here around the outside. So if textures and touch and all that sort of stuff is your thing, you're going to love this because there's lots of different textures going on. And then, of course, you've got all the functionality. So if you like your fidget spinners and all that kind of thing, this is like a fancy one of those. So let's just jump in and start looking at the sound effects. So this has multiple different sounds, some of which are activated in the usual way that sonic screwdrivers work, either by pressing the button more than once. So your standard sound is this. So you've got a usual sort of sonic screwdriver noise. There's a bit of a alien warble underneath. And then when you release it, you have that sort of ka-chink noise where it turns off, which is something we've seen, I think, since Jodie Whittaker's sonic screwdriver, which again, is really cool. The fact that they can incorporate that into the functionality of the toy is great. In terms of the lights, everything sort of lights up. You've got the lights on the top and you've got those lights on the bottom that all light up. With 2 presses, you get this sound effect. So that sound effect is more like the sonic screwdriver struggling, is sort of that warbling to it, and then there's some more alien noises beneath it. The lights on the sonic screwdriver are more flickery in this mode as well, kind of matches the sound effects. And then onto the third sound effect, when you press it 3 times. And again, that's kind of more like a scanning sound. It looks like it's trying to detect something. Then you have that little beep, 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 beep at the end there with a little power source light flashes. Again, it's really cool that it's able to do distinct sound effects, but also have those distinct light effects that match those particular sounds in different combinations. In terms of some of the other features, so moving back to this little gold button near the top, if you press this, sonic emitter pops out. I know people online were referring to it as a USB stick when it first appeared, and, yeah, I can see what you mean. So when that ejects, there's a little sound effect, and then when you push it back in to retract it, you get the same sound effect again. Again, I love that we're getting all these electronic sounds with each sort of physical thing that happens with the Sonic. It's really, really good. And then if you take a look at that, we can see there's some like alien squiggles around the glass of it. And then on the other side, you can see that there's also more of that gold paint underneath, just around the inside. Again, lovely attention to detail, and it looks great. Really, really lovely. And then the final feature is the slide viewer, which is this little piece over here. So as we slide this out, so again, love the fact that as soon as you open it up, a sound starts going, lights start flashing. Really, really cool. The level of detail on the actual Sonic itself, when you remove that, you've got that gold, the black paint job over the top, showing off the alien design, whatever it means. Who knows? I'm sure it's some technical thing. And then, of course, onto the glass piece, onto the actual viewer itself, you've got more of this gold paint. Again, really well done. It looks like it's just come out of the show. I was slightly worried that the more you do this, you might sort of scratch off some of the paint decals on there, but it seems okay, so hopefully that won't be a problem in the future. And that's also the way that you access the batteries. Now, I have not been brave enough to try and remove that battery section yet to try and replace the batteries. I'm too scared I'm going to scratch the paintwork and ruin it. Now, there's also some hidden sound effects in here. There always seems to be some hidden noises, and some people already discovered these once they got theirs at San Diego. I don't know how they managed to do it. I don't know if they just spent all day just pressing every single button and every single combination, but this is how it works. So if you want to unlock the secret sounds on the sonic screwdriver, you press the main button 15 times and then hold it down, and then whilst you're holding it down, you slide out the slide viewer. You get a few beeps, and that tells you that you've activated the sound effects. 15 clicks. Makes sense, it's the 15th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. And now you can see that the power crystal at the bottom has changed to a slightly more menacing green that perfectly fits these new sound effects. So that is the Master's laser screwdriver sound effect. The lights have all changed colour, they're now red. Again, makes it feel more menacing. It's a fun little feature, doesn't seem to have any narrative bearing because I don't think Ncuti Gatwa ever used it as a laser screwdriver. This would have seemed slightly out of character, but it's a cool feature. And if you give it 2 presses now, you get this almost lightsabery sound effect. Now, I didn't have the original laser screwdriver toy, so I'm assuming that these sound effects have been lifted from that. But again, the lights changed, they're now orange, they flash in time with like the sizzling sound of that sound effect. Really cool, lovely stuff that, I mean, I always love when they hide Easter eggs like that into the toys. And then when you want to change it back again, you just kind of do the same thing. You press the button 15 times and hold it down. That little beep then tells you that it's back to normal. And of course you can see that the power crystal is glowing back to its more friendly purple. So overall, while I'm not a huge fan of how the sonic screwdriver looks as a gadget, as a toy, it's amazing. I love the functionality of it. I love all the sound effects. I love that it swivels around. I love that bits pop out and slide out. If you're a kid, you're going to have so much fun with this, being able to scan things and look through the viewfinder and do all that kind of fun stuff. As a toy, this is very, very cool. Beautifully painted, beautifully realised, definitely worth it if you're a fan of the 15th Doctor, if you're like a cosplayer or something, you're definitely going to want one of these. Now there is a retail version coming out as well, which I'm not sure how different that is. I imagine the paint job is slightly less impressive, kind of like what we got with the 14th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. I imagine it's more of a muted colour scheme. If you want to go for the full bells and whistles version, then this is the version to go for because it's stunning. It really is a very cool toy. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the new sonic screwdriver. Do you like the design? Do you like the toy? Are you like me? Are you a fan of the toy but not necessarily a fan of the design in the show? Let me know. Really interested to hear what you think. But yes, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for some more Doctor Who toy reviews. Bye-bye!
Fuck!